but definitely, I mean, definitely one, but maybe two. And you're welcome to stay upright and be ready until we begin, but we are going to be starting on our backs today. So you're more than welcome to get yourself settled in. We're going to start nice and gently and let it be kind of a gradual awakening. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kayla. Good morning, Shrishti. Good morning, Cecilia and Nancy and Linda. Look at all these repeats. I love it. Good morning, Gloria, Marie. Natalie's back again. It's not that I'm more excited to see Natalie than anyone else, but Natalie has a little human. And so we can all remember when we had very little humans. And it was extra special when we could make it to our mats. Good morning. Oh, good morning, Kayla. All right, fantastic. I just am appreciating all of you so much, and even those of you, I shouldn't say even, those of you that are doing the recording, I know I don't say your name, there's a lot of you that message me and let me know how you're enjoying things and feedback, so I love hearing all of that stuff, but it's even more wonderful to have those of you that are with me here. Makes me feel a little less crazy talking to a computer over and over, memories of the pandemic. So here we are, we're gonna get started. Great to see you all. I find it so wonderful just how committed we get to our little online community. Shrishti, I'm going to give you a little shout out. Shrishti's so dedicated to it. I love this, that she messages when she can't come. Actually, a couple of you do that. And I love that so much. So there's that accountability piece, right? It's like, teacher, I'm not going to be in class today. And you certainly don't have to tell me that, but it's indicative of just how committed you are to the practice and to the group. So I love it. I love it. All right, so we're going to get started this morning, and yes, we are going to start on our backs. So hopefully you haven't worked too hard since rolling yourself out of bed. It's garbage day for us, so I've been running around all sweaty. My poor husband, I know I shared it yesterday for those of you that were here, he got stuck on the 400. If you saw that closing, he finished work at 3:30. He did not get home until 9:30 after the night shift, so he was fast asleep in his vehicle on the 400 for like 3 hours, and then they had to turn them all around. It was a nightmare. So he's usually garbage duty, but this morning I took it upon myself. All right, so just welcoming everyone. Come on down if you're just arriving. Go ahead and recline yourself. You're going to be laying on your back to start, really just finding ease and space as we begin our morning practice this morning, our gentle flow. Now, I would argue that all of the practices that we do together, certainly yoga these days for me, have more of an approach of gentleness, which is really in alignment with our mindful self-compassion theme this week. Gentle doesn't mean easy necessarily. It just means, to me, the approach that we take towards ourselves, our bodies, our emotions, our hearts is a little bit gentler. And in that gentleness is wrapped up in slowness, or the gentleness is wrapped up in slowness. When we move more slowly, whether it's on our mats or through life, we have a greater space of availability to notice, right? To assess. How am I? What do I need? We're not just sprinting through life, without looking side to side. And sometimes, that's what we need to do, especially in our younger years, especially when life is crazy. We just need to get the job done. But when we slow things down, even if it's just on our mats or in, pools of time throughout our day, we start to really cultivate that energy of self-compassion, self-awareness first, and self-compassion. And so that's why we're approaching our yoga practice in this way as well. So in your position of lying on your back, and we are going to focus on core today physically, we're going to focus on our strength, on our integrity, on our posture and our alignment, but we're going to do it in a slower way, which will give us that space for self-awareness and self-observation, B gives us time to fine tune the little details and to really notice that things are where they should be for the most efficacy and safety in our movements. And C, it does make it a little bit harder because you are more aware of those challenges. So you can keep those three things in mind today as we begin. And hopefully I will remember to infuse some of the points of mindful self-compassion that I wanted to in our practice, but sometimes I get carried away and I forget. But that's okay because I'm gentle on myself and I know I'm not perfect, and that's all right. So on our backs, let's take our hands on our bellies. Let's bend our knees and have the soles of our feet on the ground so we can neutralize our spine. And you might even like a hand on the belly and a hand on a heart. And again, we're really working with that theme this week because it does kinesthetically help us to regulate our nervous system. So when you breathe in first, maybe feel your lungs, your chest rise. And then continue to breathe in, not to bring air into the belly, but to feel your abdominal muscles expanding, to bring that breath in. And then as you exhale, you're releasing both the chest and the belly with just a little bit of, I dare say, force, but intention. Like you're pushing all the breath out. Okay, do that again, feeling your breath rise into your heart, into your belly. Your mouth can be open or closed, and exhaling, release all of that breath intentionally. Maybe with a sigh. Remember that sigh is so helpful for your nervous system calibration. One more time, big breath in. And big breath out. Good. Lay your arms down by your sides, palms up or down. The first step to having a strong and safe alignment in core is your pelvic placement. Okay? Sometimes we think about pulling our belly button into our spine, but today I just want you to rock your pelvis forward and backwards. Anterior pelvic tilt is when we tilt our pelvis so that there's an arch in our back. Posterior pelvic tilt is when we tuck our tailbone and feel that lowering of our low back to the ground. A lot of us as females tend to tip our pelvis forward, so we create that arch, especially those of us that maybe have just had a baby, which I think is only one of us, as far as I know, at least here today, this morning. And so to balance that, to kind of calibrate that, there might be more of an emphasis of elongating the spine when we find our neutral pelvis. So go ahead and find that now. Once you've found that, pick up your right foot, but not your left. Keep your knee bent. Your head can be on the ground or off of the ground. It's up to you. Your toes can be pointed or your ankle can be in dorsiflexion. It matters not to me. But what I'd like for you to do is slowly lower that foot towards the ground. It might not make it all the way. Mine doesn't first thing in the morning. And then come back up. Now, that being said, yes, of course, you could put your foot down if you really needed to. But I want you to lower it as you exhale, only as far as you can go, comfortably maintaining neutral pelvis. We're not going hard and fast. We're starting gently. I like to put my fingertips on my abdomen when I do that, just to feel that engagement of the transverse abdominis muscle. That's your deep core stabilizer. That's what's working here. Synchronize your movements with your breath. Let's do 2 more. So exhale, you might start to elongate your leg a little bit more, and it might be getting a little closer to the ground. We're not counting repetitions here. We're going on feeling and observing. And on your last one, just hold and hover. Hold and hover, breathe, stay soft through your jaw. It can be 2 inches from the ground or 20 inches from the ground or anywhere in between. Holding for 3, keep your jaw soft, 2, and 1. Good. Place that foot down onto the ground. Actually, before you do that, put your right hand on your right knee and just kind of circle the knee around. You're actually creating movement through the hip. Go in both directions. Okay, so this is like a hello, good morning, core. How are you? Not good morning, core. I need you to work. Which, you know, I'm not unfamiliar with either, right? So foot comes down onto the ground. Once again, you've changed position. So consciously tip your pelvis forward and backwards. Find that neutral alignment. Soften through the jaw. Often when we brace the belly, we brace the jaw. So that's why I talk about your jaw so much. Bring your left foot up and off of the ground. Okay, again, notice how when you lifted your leg, very likely your pelvis tipped. It tilted back to its tendency spot, right? So find the good spot where we need it for stability. And then when you're ready, start by just lowering and lifting your leg. Try to keep the same flexion in your knee the entire time, unless eventually you're starting to elongate. So now your core is awake. Now, yes, we did focus on the right side. So even though you might feel awake and strong, I'm still encouraging you to just tease and to gently move through that lower and lift. I did not press record, but I have my phone going, but just in case I want to get it going, because stranger things have happened with our technology.
Recording in progress.
Sure. Gloria, that's your job to remind me. No, I'm just kidding. It's not, but I appreciate when you do. I don't want to put that pressure on you. So a couple more times. Again, maybe you're going a little further. Just exploring, noticing. Okay, on your last one, bring it down, hover. Practice engaging and recruiting through the deep core while remaining soft and gently responsive, noticing, being aware through the face. You can be strong but still sweet at the same time. That's really kind of what I want you to think about here. Beautiful. Lower it down or bring it back to you with your left hand on your left knee and go ahead and circle that around. So I'm going to be identifying and gently teaching you about your core for those of you that may not know or have forgotten about the anatomy, because that's so important. So you have this muscle called your transverse abdominis muscle. We're going to take both legs up into the air. And both arms, and just kind of wiggle them around a little bit, a little dead bug. Your transverse abdominis is the deep, deep, deep core stabilizer, just like you're riding your bike with your legs and kind of swimming, like you're doing doggy paddle here. Just move. Again, this is our contralateral movement. This is great for the brain. And change directions, do it backwards. And so your transverse abdominis is the one we work in, like plank and V-sit and dead bugs, which is exactly what we're going to do. So give yourself a hug, rock from side to side. It's arguably the most important. It's like your inner corset. Okay, so anytime we're doing stability work through the core, we're working our transversus abdominis, our TA. If you have that block handy, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have a block, grab a pillow or an imaginary block. Place it between your hands. Bring both of your legs up. You may want your head on or off of the ground. I like to put mine on a block sometimes if my neck feels a little unstable. It helps to neutralize my spine because I have a very big lordotic curve in my back, so it comes off the ground a lot unless I have my head up. So let's start with holding the block straight up above us. Extend your arms, and let's just, at our own pace, begin to lower and lift one leg at a time. Now, how can I do this? I could bend my knee and not go down as far. Again, pelvis is our priority. Pelvis is our checkpoint. Exhale, lower. I do not want you going fast. I know you might be like, I can do it, but you're jipping yourself, right? From the work and from the awareness. So go slow and notice. If that's easy or you want a little more, let's work at extending the block above our head simultaneously with our legs. And again, I'm not too picky here, toes pointed or toes or ankle and dorsiflexion. Good. Slow. More time under tension is going to create more work. If you are feeling ready, I know I'm not, but I'm going to demonstrate it. You could absolutely do 2 legs at a time, but trust me, we've got a lot of core work today, so you might not want to spend all your cash on your first purchase here. So a few more times. This is just your warm-up. This is your integration. This is bringing upper body, lower body, breath, and strength and ease and combining them all together. Nice. Let's do one more on each side. Your slowest, your lowest, maybe touching the floor with your heel if you have that in you. Are you shaking a little bit already? I certainly am. Nice. Great job. Place your feet onto the ground. You can take whatever you had behind your head out from behind your head. Have your feet as wide as your hips or wider. Open your arms. And let's go ahead and move from side to side with our windshield wipers, letting our knees fall in one direction and our eyes move away. So remember, if you were with me last night, and many of you were, I talked about the 3 parts of mindful self-compassion. why I talked about the 3 ways to practice it on ourselves. And the first one is asking how we are. How am I? So as you're moving through, maybe you're continuing to reflect on that. How am I doing today? How's my body after all these workouts? How's my mind on a Wednesday in January, which can be a tough time? How are my emotions? What am I working through? Take yourself over to one side. Rest for a few moments. There is no rush. And then when you're ready, gradually bring yourself up through to seated. I'm going to invite you into any seated position that you like. I love cross-legged Sukhasana. It just feels so comfortable for me, but I know it's not that necessarily the same for everyone. Notice mindfully what is your favorite foot or your favorite shin, and you might switch it up. You might not. It's a maybe. So let's go ahead and start to move through our cat and our cow. So lifting our chest, lifting our chin, breathing in, and rounding our back, bracing our core, tucking our chin, breathing out. Now, as we continue to move through these 2 variations of spinal movement, spinal extension is when we lift our chin. Spinal flexion is when we round our back. Now, this is just as important to know as our pelvic placement when we're working our core. Because we think of our core as our abs, of course, but our core is our entire midsection, right? So our back, in particular, our lower back muscles are just as crucial in working and understanding as our front core muscles. When we lift our chest up, we are engaging muscles in our back called our erector spinae. They are the only muscles that actually move our spine backwards, okay, to extension. So hold that cow for a moment, lifting your chin, drawing your shoulder blades together. You are stretching and elongating your abdomen muscles and engaging those deep core muscles of your back. Multifidus or some other ones. And then exhale and release. So there now you're stretching your back and engaging your rectus abdominis muscles in the front. And let's go ahead and do that a few more times with a little bit more of a deliberate pause on your extension. If you remember on Monday, release, I talked about, forward folding in the morning and how it's actually better for your body, for your spine, to hold your extension. And then release. And then let's just go ahead and do a little bit of a Sufi grind. I will never be able to say that without smiling. I just love it. Where we are rolling around on our hips and trying to get, as liberal as we possibly can. So we're just kind of loosening things up in the morning. That's it. Beautiful. Take the other side. I wrote all of these notes about what I wanted to do today, and I've already been like, forget it. Gemini, ADHD, whatever you want to call it, the creative spirit, notes schmotes. Come on over onto your hands and knees. If you like and it feels good, take a little child's pose, but actually what I might even suggest is a little bit of a puppy pose. So puppy pose, we tuck our toes, we have our bottom up in the air, and we drop our chest down. Now some of us need to turn our head to the side. Some of us can tuck the chin, some of us can bring the forehead to the ground, some of us need to fold our arms in and let our forehead rest, and some of us might even need a block. Now the nice thing about puppy pose is it's not as much pressure on the knees and hips for those of us that have a concern there. And the other nice thing is that it drops the heart down to the ground. So it really helps to bring that lymphatic fluid up to the lymph nodes where it's going to drain. It helps to take pressure off of the pelvic floor. And from kind of that symbolic energy, dropping the heart down to the ground, it's kind of like a protection. It's a little bit of a back bend without really going into a deep spinal extension. So take a few more moments in your puppy pose. Good, and then up with your hands on the ground, splay your fingers. I'm going to bring my knees in just a little closer to one another, but you'll figure this out as we go. We're going to round and roll the spine like we did in cat pose, shifting our body weight forward so that our shoulders are just past our wrists. And here, you can do a little twerking. I want you to tip your pelvis a few times until you find that neutral pelvis with a slight tuck of the tail. Now, what happens when you do that? Wow, hello core, right? Bracing through your abs. Hold it for a moment. Eyes are past your fingertips. We want to imprint this. Like take a snapshot in your body of how this feels, and then release and send your hips back. Now, that was a lot of work on the wrists. So when you send your hips back, you might turn your palms to kind of face each other and just take a moment of respite. As we move through this flow, your moment of respite or repose might be longer than everyone else's. Okay, so you decide. When you're ready, fingers on the ground, roll your spine like a wave coming up, really getting that core engaged. Shoulders past the wrists, neutralize the pelvis, and if you want it, bring your knees off of the ground. Your knees can be bent, they can be hovering, pushing the ground away. This is your first plank. Haha, that snuck up quickly, didn't it? Drop your knees, release the wrists, send your hips back, slow and relaxed. If you're ready, join me again. If you're not, rest more. Roll through the back. Be mindful that your shoulders past your wrists. Set your pelvis. Lift your knees or don't. Maybe hold it for 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees, release. Good, take as much of a break as you need. What do I need? If you need to go again, go again. I'm going to offer you 2 more. Roll, press, get the pelvis, lift the knees if you like. Your knees can be bent or you can be pushing out through your heels. Soft jaw, holding for 3, 2, 1. Drop back and release. Now, yes, our legs are important in plank pose. Yes, our quads can be engaged, but they don't have to be. We do not have to be pushing out through the heels. Sometimes when we push out through the heels, it takes the load out of the core and it repositions the pelvis. My job for you today is to keep your pelvis as priority number 1. Last time, roll yourself through. Push with your hands. Set your pelvis. Lift your knees or don't. If you want to try to push out through your heels, I'm just going to let go of this so I can talk to you. Make sure your pelvic placement doesn't change. Okay, can you see how easy that goes as soon as you start pushing out through the heels, right? When we do it slowly, we do it properly. We really get to understand the mechanics. And you're like, can we stop? Yes, you can stop. Drop to your knees, slide yourself back, release your wrists, and rock yourself from side to side. So much better when we do it slowly, not easy. Okay, let your fingers drag towards your knees as you come up to your high knees and give yourself a little hula hoop. Change directions. I'd like you to tuck your left toes and bring your right leg forward. Okay, we're just gonna do one more sequence on the ground and then we're gonna get ourselves up and moving. So I've identified your transverse abdominis. Your rectus abdominis are the muscles that you use for your crunch. They're like your 6-pack. And then you've got your obliques, which are your rotators, and your side benders, which is what we're going to do now. Have a block in your hand. Pull your shoulders back and down. As you exhale, you're going to revolve to the right. Engage through your glutes. Inhale, come back through to center. Keep doing that on your own time, slow and steady. Again, when we move slow and steady, we can identify these little details in our body. So here, your left glute is really active, and that keeps that pelvis in its neutral position. We did some boomerangs on Monday, so this is kind of my theme, right? But this time it's slower, and we're really understanding the mechanics of it, working through our core. Maybe let's do 2 more on this side. Notice that your front toes are soft. You're not gripping. You're maintaining, again, that sweetness and that softness. Nice, good. This is all preparatory for what we're going to do later. Switch sides. Now, I'm going to pivot myself around here just so I can see you, but you could change legs if you wanted to. Okay, drop the tailbone, lift up through that heart. Cup of tea or coffee on your thigh. You're not going to spill a drop. And you're rotating to the left. You're rotating into that front leg. So every now and again, bring your attention to your jaw, right? Because as soon as we get reactive, what's the first thing that happens? Our brow furrows, our eyes get a little squinty, and we brace our jaw. Okay, so that's a good check-in throughout your day for your mindful self-compassion practice. What's my face doing? What's my face doing? And how does that reflect what my hip flexors and my core is doing? And they don't need to be doing the same thing, right? I don't want to say you're making it worse, but you're definitely stirring the pot and turning up the heat of your own anxiousness when you brace through your face as well as through your core. Good, that was your oblique work, nice. Now from here, we're gonna bring our hands forward. If you've changed positions on your mat, you can go ahead and switch that up. And we're gradually gonna step ourselves in, so we're in a standing forward fold, maybe grabbing a hold of both elbows and rocking yourself from side to side. I'm just gonna change directions because I prefer to be on the other end of my mat when I'm starting, but it's up to you. So that nice, easy, standing forward fold. Soften your jaw, open your mouth. Maybe just kind of let things go here. Keep those feet rooted. Slowly peel yourself up. Slowly peel yourself up. As you come up, feel that tailbone drop. The core naturally engage, the heart lift up just a little bit. Bring your arms up and above your head. Take a few moments, maybe interlace your fingers, press your palms up to the sky, and just do a little bit of explorative movement. So maybe it's a side to side, or twisting around, or circling around, but all of it comes from the awareness that your pelvis is in place. If you watch, I did a little reel yesterday about mountain pose. God, that took me hours. I had this little idea, holy moly, talk about being gentle on myself. But anyways, so much of mountain pose and all of our standing poses, release your arms, comes from having that perfectly neutral pelvis, because we tend to do this. So keep coming back to that. That's crucial for our core strength. So let's do some nice slow salutes here. So from your mountain pose, feet rooted on the ground, both sets of toes forward, about 60% of the weight in your heels, 40% through the balls of your feet. Lift your toes, splay your toes, gently put them down. From there, you're finding that pelvis neutral. You're feeling your core naturally engage when that happens. You're bringing your shoulders up, back, and down. Palms are either forward or to your thighs. Chin is parallel to the ground, so I always use the L cue, thumb to the sternum, index finger to the chin, just to retract a little bit. Back of the head being pulled to the wall, top of the head being pulled to the ceiling. This is your mountain pose. And that's as much core awareness as it is good posture. Same thing. Breathe in, bring your arms up and above your head. Reach for the sky, gaze up gently. Bend through your knees and exhale as you come on down into your forward fold. Let yourself come down fully, relax. You can bring your hands to your shins and come up to your halfway lift. And then exhale as you forward fold. I'm grabbing my blocks. You don't have to grab yours, it's up to you. Let's step back with our left foot. So coming into our low lunge, okay, not our right. Step back with your left. Take a moment, find your balance, find your stability, and then when you're ready, go ahead and bring yourself up to this nice standing high lunge. When you get to your standing high lunge, let's set the pelvis and everything else that we just did. Still feel those shoulders sliding down the backs of your ribs. Good, we'll start with a nice, slow base foundation flow first, gentle. When you're ready, bring your hands down to the ground or to the blocks, it's up to you, and push yourself back to either your dog or maybe today, based on what you need, it's your puppy pose. From your down dog, we're going to do 4 plank flows. So from down dog, and this could be like I demonstrated earlier, from your knees to your knees, so you choose. Bring your body forward into a plank as you inhale. Okay, think of all of those concepts we just learned. Exhale as you push yourself back. Knees can be bent the whole time. Inhale as you pull yourself forward. Do it mindfully. Exhale as you push yourself back. 2 more. Inhale, forward. You don't have to do that breath pattern. You could exhale if you wanted to. And push yourself back. And 1 more time. Yes, you can do this. Bring yourself forward. And this time, drop to your knees. Shift your body weight forward a touch. Lower yourself down and untuck your toes. Now, like I talked about earlier, the back is just as important as the front for core. So let's talk about this. Top of the feet are down, When we press the top of the feet into the ground, we have more control of our pelvis. So I still want you to do your little twerks and get your pelvis in place. You can put your hands wherever you want, under your arms, out to the side, in front of you, off the ground. We're going to do 4 baby cobra push-ups or extensions. Don't think of it as a push-up, that's not the right word. Let's think of it more of as an elevation. So draw the tailbone under, engage through the glutes, lift yourself up. Probably an exhale, and lowering down, inhale and relax. In yoga, we would inhale up to a cobra, or we might, but today I just want you to follow your own breath. Keep your feet on the ground. It's going to neutralize your pelvis. It means you're not going to come up as high. That's okay. You're working your erector spinalis and all of those stabilizers. On your last one, hold it up. Keep those feet pressing down. Hold it for 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Tuck your toes. Find a good placement for your hands. Draw your elbows in towards your body. Push yourself up and back, and maybe into your downwards facing dog or all fours. Stable through the upper body. If you'd like, take your right leg up to 3-legged dog. Bend through the knees. Circle around a few times through the hip. Again, thinking about stability. Change directions. Nice, good. Do that with the other leg. So pick up the left leg, circle it around. Again, a few times. You could do this with your right knee down if you wanted to, change directions. And then do your best to step that left foot through your hands. Okay, do your best. Neutralize through the feet, the pelvis, and when you're ready, bring yourself up to stand. Okay, same thing. Stabilize, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw, and find that high lunge. Take a few moments there. Okay, very good. Bring your hands down towards the ground. Step your back foot to meet your front foot. Give yourself a moment, let yourself hang, maybe grab a hold of your opposite elbow, rock it out, rock it out. And then as you're ready, peel yourself up on your exhale. Whoo, there we go. Inhale, bring your arms up and above your head. And exhale, bring your hands either down to your heart center or to your sides. Breathe. Okay, take a moment to find your mountain pose. From the bottom to the top. Good. When we're ready, we begin. Inhale our arms up and above our head. We're going to change it up a little bit. Bend through your knees. Exhale and allow yourself to fold. Send your bum back. How good does it feel to give yourself permission to move a little more slowly? Hands to your shins, halfway lift, and exhale and fold. This time we're going to step our right foot back to our lunge first. Now, I'm going to give you a choice, and you don't have to decide now. Through this next sequence, your knee could be down, which is a lot more gentler, or off the ground, which is more challenging. You choose. Either way, elevate your torso and bring your arms up and above your head. Actually, bring your arms out to the sides. Okay, so you could have your knee down, and you can decide. You can change your mind. You're not committed here. We're not married. We're just dating. And even if you're married, you can still change your mind. All right, so your left foot is forward, right? Your left foot is forward, which means we're gonna bring our left arm under our right and give ourselves a hug. Left under right. Either grab your scapula or wrap your arms. Oh, did you know this was coming? Gentle's not easy. As you exhale, bring your elbows in and bend your back knee if it's off the ground. So we're gonna do some core extension or some core contraction. As you inhale, elevate the elbows and push your back heel away if you're standing without compromising your pelvic alignment. Exhale. We're going to do 4 from here. Inhale. So this is your transverse abdominis is stabilizing you. Exhale. Your rectus abdominis and erector spinalis are creating the movement for your core. Inhale. I'm going to demonstrate from kneeling. 2 more. Exhale. That was me listening to my body. Mindful self-compassion. I was feeling a little dizzy. I'm on new meds and they make me dizzy, so I wasn't going to fight it out and be strong. I don't need to collapse on camera. and release. When you're done, bring your hands behind your back, and you could now come down to kneeling if you wanted to, or you could stay standing. Interlace your fingers, extend your knuckles, open your heart, soften your jaw, and breathe. Shift your body weight forward just a little bit for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale your arms up, whether you're kneeling or in your high lunge. Exhale your hands down to the ground or to your blocks. Step yourself back to your down dog, and again, this could be a break if you want it to be a break. Otherwise, bring yourself forward into your plank. Drop your left knee down and onto the ground. Use your left knee as your pivot point to bring your foot off of your mat and point your right toes. Bring your right arm up into the air to this side plank variation here. Okay? Option, right down onto the ground. Or if you're wild and crazy and not being gentle, which is fine, I'm not judging, you could do this from a side plank. Okay, so we've got this nice long line here. If you're in side plank, God bless you, with your knee off the ground. Reach that right arm overhead, point your right toes, and let's see if we can do some goddess crunches here. So elbow to knee, exhale, and inhale. 4 is our number. Let's do 4 after I do the first demo. And inhale, so this is working obliques. Exhale, I love making that fist when I do this because it really inspires that strength. There we go. I think this is one more. Fantastic. Good. Face the ground. Again, on your knees or toes, it's up to you. Shift your body weight forward, lower yourself down. This time, feet are still flat on the ground. They could be wider than hips, it's up to you. And we're going to do cobra push-ups. So really actually pushing the ground this time as we extend and lower down. Pick a breath that works for you. It might be an inhale, or it might be an exhale. Both are okay. All that I want you focusing on is that your pelvis stays in neutral, tops of your feet are down, and you're feeling the strength in the back, which opens up the front of your body. Good, this is your core work. And then when you're done, lower yourself down, take a moment, tuck your toes and place your hands where you need them for support so that your shoulders can come away from your ears, and guide yourself up and back into either puppy, child, or downwards facing dog. Okay, now you could go into downward dog or do it from all fours. I'm going to do it from all fours this time, taking the left leg up for your 3-legged dog and doing your hip circles. As you can see, I'm doing it from more of a hydrant variation. This is just for stability in the upper body, change directions, and mobility through the hip. So you're still working the core to stabilize yourself. Good, and do the same thing on the right. Nice, change directions. And then go ahead and step that right foot through your hands. Okay, tuck those back toes. Step your back foot to meet your front foot. And give yourself a few moments here to just rock and release. Okay, take your time, peel that beautiful self up. Take a moment, breathe. Whew. Bring your arms up and above your head. Exhale, let your arms come down by your sides. And once again, find yourself into your strong mountain pose. Take a moment. How am I doing? Okay, let's begin. Inhale, bring those arms up and above your head. Bend through your knees. Exhale and bow or dive your body forward. Get all the way down first before you move to your next position. Bring your hands to your shins. Come to your halfway lift. Exhale and forward fold. Now this time we're going to be stepping our left leg back. No, We're going to be stepping our right leg back. We're going to bring ourselves up and into our high lunge, or we are dropping that right knee down. It's entirely up to you. Oh boy, I feel like I did this wrong. I did do it wrong. It is your left foot back. Pardon me. I did this on Monday too. Man, I'm fired. I'm rusty. It's been a couple of years. Left leg back, since I've had to teach online like this. The left leg is back. Bringing yourself up so your arms are up. So whether you're in your low lunge or your high lunge, it's up to you. Our right leg is forward, which means our right arm is going to go underneath the left, left over top. Give yourself the hug, neutralize that pelvis. Okay, so I demonstrated one first. We bring our elbows in and we simultaneously bend the back knee if possible. That's our exhale. And then our inhales are lift. I'm also not wearing my wedding ring, so that's not helping. So I got to put that back on. And then when you're ready, go ahead and flow. Only because, little secret, I've started teaching some first aid and CPR, which is kind of exciting. Life's taking a different path, which was much needed. And every time I teach, I have to use gauze to demonstrate, and it gets caught in my ring. And so I took my ring off. So I've got to come up for it with another solution, so I still appear married without ripping the gauze every time I use it. Sorry, that was an aside. And now I've lost my train of counting. One more time for 4. And then when you're ready, release your arms, bring them up and above your head. Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground and go ahead and step yourself back to your down dog or to your child or to all fours. And again, this could be a break. We're just going to practice that plank flow twice. So just come forward into your plank. Again, either on an exhale or an inhale, all this planking today. Planking is one of the best exercises we can do for our core and our posture. And then I'm going to get you to lower your right knee down to the ground. Pivot on that right foot. I'm just going to flip around so I can see you here. Left leg extends towards the end of the mat. Coming into that side plank variation, back of the neck, strong, head strong. There you go. Release that arm overhead. Good. I can see you. Looks terrific. And then here we go. So 5 in total if you're joining me, or join me on the second one, which would give us that 4. So here we go. Exhale, pull 4. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull 3. Inhale, release. 2 more. And one more time. There we go. Great job. Go ahead and turn and face the earth one more time. Knees or toes, it's up to you. This is our last plank, our last regular plank of our practice, I think. I'm not really good at promises because I forget. Lower yourself down. Go ahead and come into any upward pose you like. Baby cobra, cobra, up dog, whatever your practice is. Think about your pelvis, your glutes. And then when you're ready, exhale and send yourself back. Take a rest in child or downwards facing dog. Okay, fantastic. Okay, on your own time, go ahead and bring yourself up to your dog. Take a little stretcheroo. Walk your feet towards your hands. So see how we can still work core and flow without being like wild and crazy. Take your time, roll yourself up. Sometimes we go to a yoga class, or I've certainly taught them, so I'm not pointing fingers at any yoga teachers, where the core practice, for some reason we have it in our brain that it's got to be like super hard and awful and humbling. But what happens is most of us don't have enough strength in our core to do it properly, and we end up compromising the integrity of the movements. So it's so valuable to do these flows in a nice slow way. Okay, I'm going to give myself one more challenge with my rights and lefts and see if I can get it right this time. So start in your mountain pose. Take a few moments. We're going to do some balance on this one. I'm going to kind of put it together here. Take your arms up and above your head. Nice tall mountain pose. As you exhale, forward fold your body down to the earth. We're following the same principle of flow. Bring your hands up to your shins halfway. And then exhale into your fold, let it go all of the way. Blocks or earth, you choose. Send your right foot back and into your high lunge. Okay, right foot back. Find your pelvic placement that works for you. Shift your left hip forward a little bit, or sorry, your right hip forward a little bit, your left hip back, and then go ahead and reach that left arm up into the sky. Good. Pause and feel that nice rotation. Be here long enough to really observe sensations in your body. Then go ahead and bring that left hand back down again. You're more than welcome to drop your knee if you need to. Bring yourself up and into that high lunge. And then open yourself up and into a warrior two, and you might need to reposition your feet. Okay, get your pelvis as it should be. We're just gonna do a nice slow flow that works on rotation and stability. Inhale into your sun warrior or your reverse warrior. Exhale into your side angle or extended side angle. So now we get the stretch. Inhale back into that reverse warrior, sun warrior. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down, lift your back heel, square the hips, and on an inhale, bring that left arm back up again. And that's where we started. Let's do that again. Touch the ground or the blocks. Knee up or knee down, you choose. Bring yourself up to your high lunge. Exhale, using that core to rotate into your warrior two. Take your time to position yourself. Inhale into that sun warrior, reverse warrior. This is stretching the obliques, working the obliques. And then exhale into your side angle. Yeah. Inhale into that sun warrior. Maybe we'll see the sun today, could you imagine? Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground and simultaneously lift your heel, square off through those hips, and inhale into that left arm. Ooh, very good. As you touch down to the ground, I'm going to bring my blocks with me. You're going to pivot yourself around, have your toes turned out, and go ahead and shift your body weight from side to side. Now you've got choices. Your choice could be to stay at the top. Doesn't have to be this long. Your choice could be to go a little lower like I'm doing. Or if you're feeling quite supple this morning, that might be a stretch for this body of mine, but we'll see. You could even do some skandasana, coming down nice and low. We didn't do a ton of hip opening, so your body might be like, not a chance, sister. But you just do you, right? This is what do I need? Where am I at? Good. Beautiful. Now, for the sake of simplicity and visual, I'm going to pivot myself around to the other end of my mat. But I just want you to sit up. You could also switch your feet. As long as you have your right foot forward and your left foot back, I'm happy. So go ahead and get yourself set up that way. Again, if you are in that nice low lunge here, you're shifting your left hip forward and your right hip back, because we have a tendency to open it up. Draw the tailbone down, and then when you're ready, bring your right arm up into that nice twist. Breathe. Ha, soften your jaw. Touch down through the ground. Bring yourself up to your high lunge. Now again, you could still be kneeling, so you don't need to be standing. How am I? What do I need? Exhale and open yourself up into your Virabhadrasana 2. So strong glutes, open hips, neutral hip bones. Yes. Inhale, sun warrior, reverse warrior. Oh, how good does it feel to greet the day with gentle strength, right? We don't have to jump out of the bed with the alarm going off, kicking and screaming. We've all been there, but we can gently awaken ourselves. Sun warrior. This is a nice nighttime practice too. Exhale, go ahead and bring those hands down to straddle your front foot. Lift your back heel, mindfully square the hips and elongate the spine. Inhale that right arm up, and here we are where we started. One more time, touch the ground, either lower that left knee or leave it up. Inhale as you rise, contemplating your pelvis. Contemplating your pelvis, what a funny thing to say. Exhale and open up into warrior two. Inhale into your sun warrior. Exhale into that side angle. You got it. Inhale into that sun one more time. Hello, obliques. Exhale, cartwheel those hands to the ground. Neutralize the pelvis. Get where you need to be. It's like putting on the right gear before you go for a hike. Take the right arm up. If you're not wearing the right shoes or the right pants, you're going to be miserable. So we want to think about that in our yoga poses too. Like, let's set ourselves up here. And then when you're done, once more, bring your hands forward. Pivot yourself from side to side. Maybe a little skandasana, which is when we go low and lift the heels. There we are. Yes, you got it. Great job. And then simply heel toe your feet or hop your feet, if you like, towards each other. Mindfully be aware of your foot placement. Bring a block with you. I asked you to bring a block today. If you don't have a block, that's fine. But if you have one, bring it up to your standing pose. Okay, we're just adding a little level of proprioception and contralateral movements in our balance today. So putting the block in your right hand. This is my real left, but I'm mirroring you. So put the block in your right hand and lift your left heel off of the ground. Tendency, hips go out to the side. So get them set up, everything that we need to do. Bring that arm up into the air. What we're going to do is we're just going to lift the foot off the ground and bring the block towards the knee and elevate. Now, if possible, try your best to not put your foot down on the ground. If you need to, do it lightly. Okay, from the side, you'll notice if I do this, I haven't got my core set. So I've got my pelvis in the right place, and I am working my transverse abdominals as well as my hip flexors. If I like, I could even bring that leg back, but notice when I do that, see how my pelvis, my spine went into extension and my pelvis, no. Well, I want to keep that, but maintain that as neutral as I can. So I'm using my glute, my hamstring, and stabilizing through my core. 2 more times. Exhale. And inhale. Just be glad I didn't ask you to pick up a 10-pound weight to do this. And on your last one, you're going to go ahead and, if possible, come into a tree pose. You could come low if you want, mid or high. And then you can do whatever you like with the block. You might put it between your hands, bring it above your head. You might leave it at your belly for stability, but pushing your foot into whatever it's secured to open up the hips, engage the core, and engage the glutes. And see if you can hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Yes, good. Foot comes down. Circle your hips around a few times. Great job. I'm digging this practice this morning. I really like this one. This is totally not what I wrote down. Okay, block in your left hand. Set yourself up in position. Lift your other heel. Okay, bring your arm up into the air. Even though you know, beginner's mind, like you've never done this before, bring it across. Okay, we're not counting repetitions. Right? We don't count every footstep when we're out for a walk. We just trust that, we're doing equal on each side. There's probably going to be one side that took the first step a few more times, but we're just focusing on the mechanics, not perfection. Observing ourselves is not about perfection. That's mindful self-compassion, right? We're not observing ourselves to be perfect. We're observing ourselves to gather information to be a little bit better, whatever better means. Stronger, gentler, more organized. For me, less chaotic. When I was a child, and I'm not throwing my mom under the bus, but she always used to say, Jenny, you're so careless. Jenny, you're so this. And she's gotten better too, and I've gotten better maybe 2 more times. We recognize that that's not compassion, right? You might say, oh, look at me rushing and being a little sloppy again. How can I be gentle on myself as I improve? When you're ready, bring your foot into your thigh or into your calf or wherever you're going. Find that Vrikshasana, lift the pubic bones. Anytime you catch yourself saying, oh, you're so this, you're so stupid, you're so, disorganized, you're so clumsy, you're doing the opposite of mindful self-compassion. So just catch yourself, right? Mindful self-compassion is talking to yourself the same way you would talk to your most beloved and cherished friend. You would never say you're so stupid or you're so clumsy. You might have a little laugh at her expense, gently, just like you would with yourself. And then you gently remind yourself what you could do different or how you could talk to yourself a little bit more gently for that practice. Good. Beautiful. If it's your thing to come down into a low squat, come on down. If it's not, then just bring yourself, like we did last night, if you were with me last night, to Konasana, sitting on the floor, feet together, knees open, so bum on the ground, and just opening up through those hips. Take a few moments, maybe shut down the eyes. Good, now we did a lot of core work today, and so we're going to finish. If you're not in a rush, if you gotta go, have an amazing day. If not though, I'm gonna get you to come down and onto your tummy. Okay, so to come down onto your tummy, lower yourself down onto one forearm, one elbow, pivot yourself around. Come onto your forearms to start and just rock a little bit. And we're gonna do a half frog, which is a lovely gentle stretch for the belly, as well as for the hips. So slide your right leg up first, turn those toes to point out. Bring yourself down and onto your forearms and either turn your head to the right, which is a little gentler, or turn your head to the left. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to talk to you just a little wee bit. So one of the ways that we can practice our mindful self-compassion is the way, of course, like I just mentioned, how we talk to ourselves. And that could be in the form of how I just mentioned, catching yourself when you're talking to yourself kind of cruelly or rudely, but also doing the opposite of that and practicing, we can call them affirmations or positive self-talk. So as we hold these last few postures, I just want to offer you a few phrases. Maybe they're not all for you, but maybe there's one of them. And when you hear it, if it's hard for you to associate with, if you're like, yeah, and I'm not ready for that, that's an indication that it's a good one for you. So we'll take just a little bit more time on this side and then we'll switch. I give myself grace. I am free to make mistakes. I forgive myself for my mistakes. My mistakes are opportunities to learn more about myself. Let's go ahead and switch legs. So bring your left leg up. Turn your head oppositional to the way you have it now. My feelings are not facts. I am still meaning at the age we all are, I am still learning and growing every day. I love who I am in this moment, and if that's hard, you can start with I can tolerate who I am in this moment. Maybe it might move to I like who I am in this moment. And then our best case scenario is I love who I am in this moment. Mindful self-compassion brings together mindfulness, common humanity, knowing that we're not alone, that everybody is going through their own version of suffering and challenge. All of us have these dialogues and narratives going on in our minds. And self-kindness, right? And that's where we bring in those 3 steps of how am I, what do I need, and giving ourselves what I need. So a little mantra that you can use that brings together all of that is when you notice yourself feeling awful or self-talking in a negative way, and you can say, this is hard, but it's only temporary. Right? And that's that acknowledgement of mindfulness. Not this is hard and I can't do this and I'm not good enough. This is hard, but it's temporary. I'm not alone. Right? That's that common humanity that we're all going through hard things. We all are. I am not alone. And then to yourself, I'm here for you. What do you need? Or how am I? How can I serve myself? And this is really the strategic one-by-one steps to formal mindful self-compassion. It's a lot more than that. I'm thinking, I have an idea brewing based on what I was writing and thinking this morning. More to come. When you're ready, you can release yourself. you can take yourself over and onto your back. Give yourself a great big hug. Go ahead and take your legs up into the air and maybe just rock a little bit from side to side. If you want to do a shoulder stand, you're more than welcome to do a shoulder stand. Otherwise, viparita, just having your legs up for a few moments. You're welcome to lower them down whenever you like or keep them elevated. And as we come to the end of our practice, I would really like you to think about how you can take your practice with you. Just stay on your back for now unless you must get up. How you can take your practice with you and apply it to your everyday today. So how can I bring whatever it was, whether it was some core awareness, whether it was something about mindful self-compassion or breath, or just your approach. How can you bring your yoga off of your mat today and into your life? That's really where the wheel yoga happens. The real yoga happens. I'd like to finish our practice with a passage from one of my favorite daily books called Intentional Days. And this passage is, I am worthy. Why would I let someone else define whether I'm acceptable or even lovable? I fall into this trap from time to time, and when I do, I remind myself to come back to me. I remember to be kind to myself, to take time for myself, and to love myself. I am a divine and magical creature. I am worthy of time, appreciation, and respect. I stand in my truth, and I know that I am deeply worthy of all that I want and desire. I meet these needs within myself. I honor my own worthiness, and I show up in the world from this place. I create the space to be still, to listen to my heart, to fill my soul, and to be renewed and rejuvenated. I am worthy of great love. So thank you everyone for showing up today for yourself, for your body, for your family, for your community, all of the ways that yoga makes us better. I wish you a beautiful day, and hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow. I hope that served you, your body, your mind, your soul. And as always, if you have any questions, I'm not in a rush today. So if anybody has anything to ask or say, I'm not going anywhere. Well, eventually I am, but I'm not hustling off. Moving gently. Feel good? Yes? Way to go. So hopefully the work we did in our core will be softened by the love that we have in our hearts today. A little yin, a little yang.
Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome, Beth. Have a good one. Look at all these hearts. I love it. You guys are magic. Hearts are my favorite. How ironic. All right. Have a great one, you guys.
You have a good one too, Jenny.
That's the plan. Thanks, everybody. Take it easy.
Take it easy today.